Hey guys, so this video I want to dedicate towards buttons used within Rosemary. Now I know this may sound a little bit odd, however it is necessary because there are in fact a lot of settings for you to be aware of. So first of all, let's go ahead and see where all of these buttons are located. Now you can see that we have a button within our header, then we also have a standalone button just right in the middle of our page. As we scroll further down, we also have certain blocks of content that include buttons within, similar to this one over here with a call to action option, and this can link to whichever page you wish. As you scroll further down, we also have another block with also a call to action. Now as you just noticed within these two examples, we do have two different button types. We have a button with an underline, and then we also have a rectangular shaped button like we use within our header and within this standalone block. Now, to access all of these button settings, head on over to Flotheme, Generics, and then go to Miscellaneous. Here you can find all of the button settings. These button settings are very simple. You can adjust the button font, and then you can also adjust the colors related to those buttons. If you do select the rectangular shape, we also have another color option unfold for the button background color. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that settings set in the Flotheme generic miscellaneous area do not affect buttons located within your header, and this does not affect the standalone button block that we have. Taking a look at the back end of the following page over here, we have a block that is called simply button. Okay, so as you unfold it, there are a set of settings for you to adjust. And once again, settings located within the generics area do not affect settings located within this block specifically. It's also important to note that this block does not include an underline button, only a rectangular button. Next, if we take a look at our header settings, you can see that we chose header type B, and as we open up our header B options, we scroll down, and here we have the option to display our custom menu button. So as you enable this option, you will have a number of settings to adjust, and you'll need to add in your button title and the link. So let me go ahead and edit this real quick. Into the URL field, you'll add in the button link, and then within the link text, you'll need to add the button title. So it's mandatory that you add that in. If you don't add it in, the button simply will not show within your header. Next, you can adjust once again the font and the colors related to that button. It's also important to keep in mind that the button within your header can also be a rectangular button only. It cannot be an underline like in some of the other blocks. Now let's go ahead and see how to make changes within the button styles within certain blocks of content. So we'll take this block for an example. We'll then find it within our backend, unfold the settings over here, and you will need to select use a custom button type if you want this button to be different from what you've set within the Flotheme generics area. So we'll go ahead and select this option. We will select type B, and then we'll scroll up our page, click on update, and then refresh our page within the front end. Alright, so now you can see that as soon as I hover over this button, I no longer have this underline. However, the button is barely visible due to the background being exactly the same for the entire block of content and this button as well. So from here on, we have two options. We can either change out the background color for this block of content, or we can change out the background color for this button specifically. So we'll head on over to the Flotheme generic miscellaneous options. We will open up our rectangular button settings, and then we'll go ahead and adjust our background color to be different from what we have within our block. So as you can see, this color has changed. If you do click here, you can manually select a color or just type in the color hex code into this field. We'll then go ahead, click on update, and we'll need to refresh the following page. Okay, and now you can see that this button has completely changed and it is now visible within this background. But it's also important to note that the color change affected this block of content as well. So in my case, if I only want to change out the color settings or the button type within this block specifically to have this specific color and every other button to remain as an underline, I'll need to go back over to Flotheme Generics Miscellaneous, select button type A, click on update, and then refresh this page once again. This way every other block except for this one and this standalone block over here, and the header block will have the rectangular button style. Okay, here we are. As you can see, we have two different button styles within the same page. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope everything makes sense, and I'll see you around later.